Tecno just added two more smartphones to their Camon 30 series lineup, the Camon 30s and the Camon 30s Pro. I have the Camon 30s and that is what I'll be reviewing here. Let's find out if the Camon 30s is a good contender in the mid-range segment or just one of those endless releases. When I first laid my hands on this smartphone, I wondered what the S here stood for. Is it the curved display or the new MediaTek chipset, which I'll be talking more about later on. The Camon 30s features a 6.78-inch curved AMOLED display with a 1080p panel. This display is vibrant and the colors it gives off are decent and perfect for viewing content on the smartphone. The 120Hz refresh rate here puts the Camon 30s on par with many flagship devices, and it's obvious during use, offering a smooth scrolling and improved touch response. Even though this refresh rate isn't noticeable on all apps, but it still does good. Compared to other budget competitors, the Camon 30s holds its own down in display quality. The 1300 nits of peak brightness and AMOLED display here provides good visibility in various lighting conditions. The Camon 30s also has a Gorilla Glass protection. For the build quality and material here, the Camon 30s is completely plastic on both rear and frames. The back design has this premium look, feel and details to it, and I just love the way the patterns on the back runs through it, giving it this trendy yet simple look. The frames has this glossy finishing to it, but it's still plastic. Dual speakers on the frame with a Type-C port, a mouthpiece and no headphone jack. I guess this is all in a bid to make the Camon 30s look like one of those flagship devices. It has support for dual SIM with no SD card slot. Speaking of which, as at the time of making this video, I couldn't find other variants of the Camon 30s. All I could find was the 6GB of RAM and 128GB storage, and it cost 290,000 naira. That should give around $170 if my conversion is right. One thing about this limited storage option is this device might be a deal breaker for some, especially if you're someone that enjoys smartphones with huge storage options, but for most users this should be more than enough. You also get an under-display fingerprint sensor placed all the way down here. It feels like my fingers have to do some kind of gymnastics to get to the sensor here. Would have been much better if it was placed somewhere around here. Do you think the fingerprint scanner placement is weird, or is it just me? Comments below. On spec sheets, the Camon 30s is also IP53 dust and splash resistant. Now let's talk about the camera specifications of the Camon 30s. But before I go on, if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of my videos. Your support means a lot to me and it keeps me going. Now back to the camera specs. The Camon 30s shares a similar camera design to other Camon 30 series with this circular camera module. At first glance, this camera setup might look like it has a quad camera positioned at the back, but in reality, this houses dual cameras on the rear, a 50 megapixel Sony IMX lens and a 2 megapixel depth sensor with an auxiliary lens, which I always insist has little or no impact on the camera performance, and a 13 megapixel selfie camera. I think the camera performance of this device is okay for the price point, but it can be better considering we have a Sony lens here. The large sensor size on the Camon 30s camera also allows for excellent light capture, resulting in bright and detailed images even in challenging lighting conditions. Although this has some AI features which does too much at times, but it will be better to turn those off if you want more natural looking picture. The portrait mode here also tries in creating a natural bokeh effect here with some natural edge detection around the subject. There's also the AI generated content feature here, which I think looks ridiculous. Come on, these look nothing like me. You might find them interesting or cool and want to try them out. Also, I noticed sometimes for the portrait camera, it ends up giving my face this somehow reddish look, which doesn't look nice most of the time. The video recording on both rear and selfie cameras max out at 2K at 30 fps, while Tecno advertised the optical image stabilization as a feature on the Camon 30s. My experience and test with this device shows it's not functioning or not functioning as it should, and this can have a significant impact on the camera's performance, especially for video recording. Despite this flaw, it's important to note that the Camon 30s camera performs adequately in other areas. It's just important to take note of this, especially if the OIS is a crucial feature in your purchasing decision. Now let's talk about how this device performs. The Camon 30s is powered by the MediaTek Helio G100 chipset. The G100 by MediaTek is their latest budget chipset, but it's not so different from the G99. It just slightly outperforms its predecessor by the CPU performance of around 7%. So it's not exactly an upgrade from the G99 like brands would want to paint it as. While the G100 might not be top tier, this chipset still provides solid mid-range performance. It holds up well enough for graphic-intensive games and multitasking. Most games here are played on low or medium settings, although there are lags while gaming, and the curved display makes it not too convenient for long gaming sessions, but it's not something you can't handle. It runs on iOS 14.5 based on Android 14, and from all indications, it seems like we might be getting 2 years of OS updates for the Camon 30S. There's also the always-on display personalization on here. The UI here is clean and definitely better than those on the entry-level devices. The only downside I think this has is the unnecessary apps and bloatware that comes with this device, but nothing a quick uninstall can't fix. Tecno have also included some of their AI features here. They are basically selling the smartphone as an AI smartphone with Tecno AI features. There are features like the Ella voice assist. This is quite useful. You can just hold down on the power button or by saying hi Ella, but you need to have set this up from the settings app. And that feature we're supposed to have here is the AI eraser, a feature in the AI gallery that is used to remove unwanted objects or people from your picture. Even though this feature is clearly advertised on Tecno's website, I still couldn't find it on the device. Maybe they plan on pushing out a software update for that, but as at the time of making this video, I couldn't find that feature on the device. We get the dynamic port feature, which has become part of Tecno's devices. Here you have options of what gets displayed on the ports. You should check them out if or when you eventually get one of these. With a 5000 mAh battery, the Camon 30S offers a decent battery performance. I got through most of the day on a single charge while testing out this device. And because this has support for 33 watts charging, it doesn't take so long for a quick charge. In a competitive mid-range market, the Camon 30S competes well against other competitors, offering a balanced package of features. In my opinion, I think the Camon 30S represents a solid mid-range smartphone, balancing performance, camera capabilities, and display quality. While this smartphone may not lead in every single category, its well-rounded features and competitive pricing makes it a worthy contender in the crowded mid-range smartphone market. And there you have it, everything you need to know about the Tecno Camon 30S. Let me have your thoughts on this device. What feature or features stood out the most to you, and which is the least impressive? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's have a quick chat. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and like always, I'll see you guys on the next one.